You might remember the Pimax Crystal Super, a VR headset with swappable optical engines. Well, guess what? They've got a new one that runs 2 micro OLED displays at 3840 by 3552 for each eye. Absolutely incredible. But the star of the show isn't the new engine going on the old headset, it's their new headset. This is the Dream Air. It uses the same optical engine that you just saw in this thing, except the whole headset is smaller than that alone. Obviously, competition is heating up in the VR space, but Pimax has taken a balanced approach that they think is going to make their customers extremely happy. So it's lightweight, targeting less than 170 grams, but they aren't trying to be the lightest weight. So you're still going to get features like motorized IPD adjustment, as well as magnetic lens inserts for those folks out there who need a prescription. They've got 2 fans, 1 per display for ample cooling, as well as 4 integrated cameras that handle inside-out tracking, as well as black and white pass-through. With that said, this is not meant to be a standalone headset. It's meant to target maximum clarity for PC VR, which to them still means having an attached cable. With that in mind, it does use display stream compression in order to hit the maximum refresh rate of up to 90 Hertz at that crazy resolution. But it's worth noting that the displays are running at that native res. There's no funky upscaling happening within the headset itself. With all of that said, I think the biggest difference maker to image quality is going to be the lenses. This is Pimax's first ever headset to use pancake style optics. And these are not just any pancakes. They're concave pancake lenses like you might find on the Apple Vision Pro. This has a couple of key benefits. It helps them keep the field of view reasonably wide. They're aiming for about 110 degrees. And way more importantly, it should help significantly reduce the flaring or bloom that you can get around bright objects with other pancake optic systems. Of course, I'm not going to take their word for that. I'm going to have to try it, but I'm not going to do that until I tell you about our sponsor.
All right, Linus forgot to do sponsor spot, and that means now I have to while I'm at a hockey game. But you know what? Thanks to dbrand for sponsoring this video because our sponsor dropped out. dbrand sells cases, screen protectors, skins, and you know what? Sometimes they're all right. So go to emergencysponsor.com and get something from me.
Please, 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 will you buy something from dbrand? Please, please.
We're so bad! All right, now that we've got it powered up is a perfect time to show you guys, and I'll have to use my cell phone camera for this, the 10 infrared lights per eye for Tobii eye tracking. This can be used for social applications, but also for foveated rendering. We're not using that today for this particular demo, but that's to help make these a little easier for your poor GPU to drive. Oh, by the way, one other benefit of the lenses that I didn't mention before is that if you have long eyelashes, then it makes them less likely to brush on the inside of your lenses, which, wow, that's kind of nice. Although there's kind of a funny effect I've never felt before. There's a little bit of like air resistance because they're kind of sweeping, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I can feel wind inside when I blink. Anyway, oh, I never checked to see how this tightens.
Yeah, we got you.
Oh yeah, thank you, thank you. Ooh, a little more, give me a little more, yeah.
Oh, that's it, he's gotta buy it now.
They're still working on the thickness of the gasket. I like to really get my eyes right up against the lenses, so they're actually probably gonna dial that back a little bit, and then hopefully it won't pop out when you try to tighten it. While we're sitting on the carrier is a good time to evaluate general clarity, which, damn, not bad. You've gotta love that OLED sharpness. I mean, it's still sample and hold, right? So you're gonna get a little bit of natural blur, but man, like reading gauges, reading buttons, holy crap, is that ever cool. And I gotta say, the improvements to glare, really impressive. Without doing a side-by-side comparison, it would be hard to say for sure, but these are definitely among the better lenses that I've seen for glare. What are you guys rating the brightness of this thing at? Hold on, let me guess. Pancakes, OLED, but with external power, 120 nits.
Probably somewhere in between 100 and 150.
Okay, so I guess I'm not super far off. Okay, time to grab the stick and the throttle. And you guys are gonna launch me off of this thing, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, cool.
Have a nice flight, sir.
All right, see you later, buddies. Whee! All right, here we go. Heck yeah. Woo!
There you go. Beauty.
Whee!
You got it.
Ah, there's no way I'm gonna land this.
You got this.
Nope,
Come on.
I don't. Whee!
You should get an applause, right?
No,
I think so.
definitely
Come on,
not.
round of applause.
Definitely not.
That was awesome.
While I wasn't able to evaluate the quality of the speakers here on the show floor, you know how it is, one benefit that I'm really liking is this split cable. So it does DisplayPort on one side and then other data on the other side. Basically, with a lighter headset, you run into issues sometimes where if you've got the cable on the one side, it can really significantly pull the headset. This helps to alleviate that. For the interface, they're using standard USB-C, which is nice. And that's not the only USB-C port on here. Okay, it's a smaller headset. It's a little less modular than Pimax's traditionally are, but you still get a USB Type-C port right here in the middle of the headset for accessories, as well as these two little threaded holes. These are because Pimax recognizes not everybody wants this strap style of head mount, so these are anchor points for them to do a halo style, where you could just take the face gasket off and have it be flip up and flip downable in front of your eyes. They're also currently developing an automatically tensioning strap, as well as a more deluxe audio strap. One potentially awkward topic was what Pimax is going to do now that Valve has discontinued the base stations that Lighthouse tracking relies on. Many of their headsets use this, and it turns out they've got a pretty simple answer. For their modular headsets, they're going to have a Lighthouse version for the front plate, or a SLAM version for the front plate that has cameras for inside-out tracking. And then for the Air, they're just gonna have two separate versions. The one I'm holding and the one this guy's wearing. See, look, Ma, no cameras. And look me, no continuation to this video. Subscribe to Short Circuit.